This is your March 2024 soul story. It's Romy here. Thanks so much for tuning in and joining me on the channel. If you have a sun rising or moon in the sign, then you might find some of these messages help you to navigate your way through the next few weeks. I think you're going to be incredibly unapologetic in March. You are discarding a lot and you're also seeding a lot in the next few weeks. The choices that you are making have a really strong sense of intentionality, because what came to light in February now needs to be acknowledged and addressed by you. And I think that first 2 months has brought so much awareness and change and growth, perhaps a lot more than you were necessarily prepared for. But nonetheless, here you are. And I think the question you're asking yourself, and a wider theme, of course, for 2024 is, what is it going to take? So we open up with a Page of Pentacles, and you do have some sense of clear direction about what you want to invest in. There's an understanding of where the gap exists, okay? Could be a knowledge gap, could be a gap in terms of the amount of finances that you need, a gap in kind of where you are to where you want to be. And I really like how you're showing up with that page, because there's a sort of a humility here that says, do you know what, I don't have it all, I don't necessarily know it all, but I'm here and I'm willing to want to understand, and I want to know the steps that I need to take in order to manifest and bring this shift and change in my consciousness, in my reality, in my life. And, I think with that in mind, you are really putting a lot of things into your own garden, if you like, that are going to start to come into their own season through the course of 24 and really bloom in beautiful ways for you, okay? Now, as we move into the first week or so of March, we do have a rather tense square between Mars and Uranus coming in on the 9th as Mercury shifts into Aries. This can spur us into action, but it can also create that intense pressure point, and the energy around that time can be a little bit unstable. That, of course, is just ahead of the new moon in Pisces coming in on the 10th at 20 degrees, and so we can be spurred to action and then harness that for the new moon. But we can also be mindful of the fact that Piscean energy, sometimes creating that somewhat distorted view of things, along with the kind of tension and the chaos that can be erupting around a Mars and Uranus square, we can be aware that that period, that time through the month of March could sort of bring all sorts to our doors. So I would say be prepared for the unexpected, so to speak. Now, we are illuminating, of course, in Pisces energy, the second house for you. And so, you are looking at, the way in which you feel valued in your life. And again, this sort of sense of, I think, doing the hard things and understanding that that creates a little bit of a stoicism. You've got strength to pull the bars back here. And a sense of realism, but at the same time inviting Piscean magic to allow some of the unseen forces that are flowing to you and through you to help you navigate around this time as well. You may feel somewhat defensive or challenged in some kind of capacity in the first part of March. And this is, understand, a direct test, if you like, for you to demonstrate and show up in a way that can express to people, this is what I bring to the table, or, this is my boundary, or this is what I believe, this is what I'm standing by. And again, as I said, this very unapologetic energy from you. What I like is we have the tattoo of love here. So what we understand is that your intentions are good behind this. So sometimes we require tough love. And I think that energy of tough love, both directed inwards but also externally to some of the people in your life, is also a message that seems to be coming through quite strongly for this month ahead. Now, in March, planets are all direct right through to the 20th before we start some shadow energy again. And so that's an opportunity to sort of really take advantage of acting now and acting with intention. And what we also see is the sort of winds of fate are stepping through for you with the Wheel of Fortune showing up. you're not just, you know, the cog in a bigger wheel. And if you're trying to kind of remove yourself from something that feels too conventional, too restricted and restrained, I think that Wheel of Fortune is set about to bring some new opportunities. Again, you might feel challenged by them, or challenged by the set of circumstances that it arrives in, or what it might mean for you in terms of giving yourself permission to say yes to something, okay? So expect that you will maybe feel that slight sense of pressure as you entertain and allow what that wheel wants to bring through. But there is an auspicious, lucky, fortuitous vibe with it. And along with this kind of springing forth energy in the beginning of this new astrological year, I want to say you should feel very enthusiastic about the potential and the possibility of where something can go, especially if there are offers or invitations coming your way. Because I think it's about a sort of stop press moment. You know, this could be a real game changer. I would be crazy not to say yes to it. Okay, so as we make our way towards the equinox arriving, of course, as the sun shifts into Aries on the 19th, beautiful seasonal alignment, giving you opportunity to sort of harmonize and rebalance. Four of Wands, something going on close to home. You might be considering something to do with property or shifts and changes within your work environment. I certainly have a feeling of wanting to expand. There's a feeling of having outgrown something for you this month, Aquarius. And, you know, when we start stretching at the seams of something, you know, if we don't honor that and give ourselves permission to go explore what the expansion looks like, it can start to become more and more difficult and challenging to be within the confines of that environment that perhaps has sustained us for a really long time as well, right? I think as well, you know, we recognize that, you know, life is a series of moments strung together that each hold their own unique opportunity to experience something, right? And we shouldn't be afraid of the contrast. So what I'm saying here is that I feel in regards to March, you might be a little bit all over the place. You know, you might go all around the houses and come back at your original idea or your original sort of place of thought or something, and just kind of think, God, what was all that about? Or even, you know, markedly different types of emotions pertaining to the same thing. All of this, of course, has something to show you. And, you know, it's not going to stop your progress. In fact, it brings a sort of richer experience. And if you allow it to, you know, it's going to teach you and allow you to move forward and progress something in a more balanced way than you might have otherwise expected. I also have a sense, remember, this is a month where we are meeting once again eclipse season, the full moon lunar eclipse in the sign of Libra coming through on the 25th at 5 degrees. A revisitation of a lot of what was activated around October of last year. And remember, continuing that conversation, me versus we and the eclipse axis right through to 2025. And so it's not like you get huge resolution of the theme in March, although of course at a full moon you are going to get some closure and a requirement to let go of something. The Three of Wands here though indicates, I think, that, you know, your vision of the future and what it's going to take, what it looks like, what it's asking of you is then also influencing how the relationships around you support this or are helping to shape you in order to achieve this. You know, so there's a lot of questions about, here's where I am, here's where I want to be, here's this gap, here are all these people in my life, you know, how does all of that fit together? And that, you know, asks difficult questions, you know, that you may or may not be necessarily ready to receive the answers for. What I will say is if around that time you have a kind of I should have known better feeling, well, that's not, you know, essentially very helpful. What I can say to you is that you can start again or clear the air or do anything to kind of reset. Remember, equinox energy through the month of March is a beautiful opportunity to reset. I will just say don't leave it too long. The fact that her hair is so long here already suggests that it's been a time in waiting. And I think that you are getting the urgency now. There's something about how the universe is responding on a vibrational level in 2024 where it's like if you are veering off track for too long, you are being jolted back with a a force, if you like, that kind of take your breath away at moments. So rest assured, if you're not where you're supposed to be, or facing or dealing with the things that you're meant to, expect that kind of powerful interventional energy coming in, universally speaking. I'm seeing it playing out everywhere. But the hindsight card is not necessarily one that you want to be playing with yourself. It's just a kind of, I am where I am, and every single moment is a teaching moment and an experience to have, and that's going to be the thing that will help you. Pallas Athena, of course, going retrograde in Sagittarius on the 29th, and here, you know, as she helps us with our strategy for life, we want to look before we leap and perhaps rethink a bigger plan. We've got the King of Cups, and he's literally lifted the ship out of the water and said, you know what, right now it's a bit tumultuous. You know, it's maybe not the safest passage. I'm maybe going to wait till the seas just die down just a little bit. So you yourself might make the decision to kind of pull the plug, pull back, withdraw, put something on hold, or just scale something back, simplify, you know, do something that just gives you a little bit more peace of mind that, yeah, I'm absolutely still doing this. There's still a course to take, you know, I'm on this journey, I'm committed to it, but at the same time, like, I want to work with the energy and not against it. Interestingly, she's also holding the ship in the Three of Wands, and I want to say to you, you know, Aquarius, you've waited this long, so a little bit longer for something to materialize that's so important to you is okay. It's okay. Now, overall, the month has astrologically some really positive aspects coming in, but I do think we are being tested from a stability perspective, and you know, that lunar eclipse will bring to light where there are already cracks that have begun to show, and they will create, you know, perhaps big chasms of them. And so, you know, you can expect that if there's something that feels to you it's becoming untenable, you know, the intensity gets kind of turned up, the heat gets turned up a little bit. Remember, I think your overall theme for this month is one of being unapologetic. And so, you know, you will become a little bit more focused and direct in terms of how you want to manage and handle different situations. And I think, you know, we've got some real beauty that we want to tap into here. That Page of Pentacles, all the blossom and the you know, the flowers that are kind of coming through shows that growth can actually happen very quickly. So when we do bring our heart and our passion into a situation, you can also expect a lot to be added to it quite quickly. And it seems to translate in, like, if you invest in something very quickly, other people start to invest in it at the same time. So it can quickly gather momentum and speed. And you could be quite surprised where something ends up, or where indeed it takes you. I do think as well, you know, communication also seems to lead to a closer intimacy. We've got the two birds apart, and then we've got the two figures coming together on the roof here. And so having to find a shared vision, it might feel really complicated, but I think in time you're able to find something that does almost create an understanding that, you know, everybody can be satisfied in regards to this. I sort of feel like that's coming through. I think you will feel quite surprised at how connected you are to a specific course of action in the month of March, Aquarius, and you'll absolutely go all in for it. And you know, it might not have been something that even in the last few weeks, you know, January, February, you would have sort of entertained. That's how much things have changed. That's how much you've changed just in this short period of time already. Can you imagine what you're going to be like by the end of the year? 2024 is a big opportunity to transform life in really epic ways, and you're right on the journey, and ready and willing and open to that is kind of what shows up here. So if you're new to the channel, our last three cards we cover in the extended version of my reading. We talk for another 30 minutes or so. We'll look at a relationship card and a personal question, as well as dive deeper into this. So I hope you'll join me if this is resonating for you. I'm going to go ahead and just pull some clarifiers and see the direction we will take this. Okay, so we have Page of Pentacles coming through with the King. We've also got the energy of the Fool. What about the Seven of Wands here? Four of Pentacles, Nine of Cups, another Four of Wands coming through here, Five of Swords, energy of the Empress, Two of Cups, Hanged Man. Energy of the Devil. Okay, King of Cups, Nine of Swords, Two of Swords, put one more there, Knight of Wands. Okay. All the decks I use are listed below. You'll find over on my website my sacred titles, my decks, ways to work with me, all the sacred soul support I create this month. Check out the Equinox rituals, also a beautiful sacred violet flame, clearing energy and working with the sacred element of water as well. Beautiful healing soul journey to take. You'll find that over on romywiser.com, but all the links are listed below. So this is my deck, Aquarius, Life Soul Vision Oracle. Let's have a look, see what it wants to bring through. Enlightened in the exhale. We've got Spirit Wolf, Certainty of Trust. We've got the Queen of Fire. We've got Casting Out Constellations. We have Crown Energy. Maverick of the Light, Dancer of the Shadows. Dragons coming through here in this Year of the Dragon. Also the Sacred Violet Flame. And then we're going to finally pull an energy oracle for you as well for Aquarius for the month of March. Cover this message in the extended. Broken Heart. Okay, we'll get to the bottom of that one. Thank you so much for tuning in. I appreciate you so much. Enjoy March, enjoy Equinox. I will see you again next time. Take care. Bye for now.